was released a year after Iron Man 2 and starred Chris Hemsworth as the mighty Avenger Thor. This movie takes place in two locations, Asgard and New Mexico on Earth, and sets an origin story for the son of Odin, and we see how he gets from Asgard to Earth and how he reacts to the people on Earth at first and how he eventually becomes an Avenger. Alright, so Thor isn't my favorite Marvel character, but for what they were doing, I really appreciated the movie. I really did. I appreciated that they wanted to bring Thor into the Avengers and they were making a standalone Thor movie. Nowadays, when they want to make a superhero team movie, they just add the people that they know that need to be on the team into the movie instead of giving them their own standalone movies. But they did that for Captain America and Thor. They made their own standalone movies first, and I am so glad that they made a Thor movie so they could tell us who this character was, where he came from. Let's talk about Chris Hemsworth as Thor. I really like him as Thor, even though Thor isn't my favorite character in the MCU, or just the character from the comics really. I can't picture anyone else playing him. I believe him as Thor. He's very arrogant, he's got a lot of vanity, but he's very charming at the same time. He's kind of that football jock of the MCU. Like, you kind of don't like him, but at the same time you do like him. It's a very charming performance, and I was very glad that Hemsworth got this right after his portrayal of Kirk's dad in Star Trek. And they gave us our first glimpse of Asgard, which was the most interesting part about this film was Thor's homeland. The way that the movie starts off is perfect. It starts in Asgard, it shows us who these characters are, Thor, Loki, and Odin. And we see some family drama because we see that Thor is about to be crowned the king of Asgard. However, he's that kind of character who's very vain, and he has a huge temper. And because of this, he's not crowned king of Asgard, so he decides to do something about it. He decides to visit these frost giants who are kind of responsible for him not being king. And because of this, he potentially starts a war, and he's banished to Earth. And that's where the movie kind of goes south for me. And I understand that they need a reason for him to be on Earth, so he can interact with S.H.I.E.L.D., and S.H.I.E.L.D. can call him up one day and be like, hey, we need you for the Avengers. I get that. He needs to have some background to be in the Avengers film. I understand that. He needs to build a relationship with S.H.I.E.L.D. And he also needs a reason to care for the people of Earth to save New York in the Avengers film. And that's Jane Foster in this film, played by Natalie Portman. Their relationship in this movie, it's okay. It's just, I liked it from Thor's point of view because he meets this girl and he becomes a better person. I like that aspect. But the whole reason why Jane Foster likes Thor is because he's hot. That's it. That's the only reason why she likes Thor in this movie is because he's played by Chris Hemsworth. He's hot. That's it. That's the only reason. And the other reason why this movie is held back is because of the character Darcy Lewis. I think I just left a bump on my head. There was no reason for her to be in this film whatsoever. She was just a white girl presented in this film to reach out to the younger audience members. That's really it. Oh, let me post this picture on Facebook. I'm gonna get so many likes. You're so hot. I'm just here. I don't need to be here. She did not need to be there, and she was very cringeworthy. Holy crap. But you know who's a really good character? Loki. In this movie, we get to see Tom Hiddleston's first appearance as Loki, and I have to say, around the time when this movie came out, that was the best Marvel villain we had gotten so far. At first, you see Loki as Thor's brother. You kind of see that he cares about his brother. He's giving him his condolences because he's not king. You think he cares, but in reality, he's just a trickster. He's the god of mischief. He's basically kind of like a troll, and he will lie to you in order to get what he wants in life. There's also that portion of Loki where you understand where he's coming from. He feels second to Thor. He's not becoming the king of Asgard. And then later on, when he finds out that he's actually the son of a frost giant, adds more to that character. So in regards to the character, you understand where he's coming from, and that is what makes him a really good Marvel villain, and that is probably why they made him the villain in the Avengers movie. Also, we see Agent Coulson back in this film as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, which was really cool. And I know they can kind of ruin a Marvel film, but for this movie, it totally works because it's a character that's coming back and forth into these movies, and it was very charming. I like Phil Coulson. I really do. I like him as a character. I enjoyed him in Iron Man. I enjoyed him in Iron Man 2, even though Iron Man 2 wasn't really good. And seeing him come back in Thor was just, it got me giddy. It got me giddy. I don't know, I got like goosebumps as a fan of like, oh my god, they're doing the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is so good. So guys, Thor isn't a perfect movie. It isn't. It has some things that are holding it back. But in regards to it doing something that the MCU films hadn't done yet, and not even just the MCU films, just superhero films in general, it did something totally different, and I have to admit, around the time, it was the most different MCU film that we had so far. Sam Raimi actually tried to make this film in the 90s, and he brought it to 20th Century Fox, and at the time, they didn't understand the concept. And I can understand kind of why, because if you were trying to pitch this idea to someone, they would not understand it really, because looking at this film, it's a really different film, and trying to maybe explain it to someone what the film is about, they probably wouldn't get it either. But finally, after so many years, this film was made, and I will admit it isn't perfect, but it's a good movie, and it's really different in regards to superhero films. So yeah, that's what I thought of Thor. My next review is gonna be Captain America. Thank you guys so much. I am Corbin Stuckey, and this is Pixel Talk.